Live. All right. Patrick, go ahead.
I have been unmuted. Okay, great. Hey, good. Thanks, Vito, for having us. Just wanted to introduce Heather Wilson, who I don't know all that well, frankly, but I've been following her journey online into the laundromat space. And I wanted to introduce you to Vito, who I've known for several years, who has successful businesses that he's running for almost a couple of decades now. But I'll let him speak more about himself to you during the conversation. And we'd love to hear more about how you got the idea to do it, how it's gone so far, and thinking the future's going to work. Oh, it's you.
Oh, me? I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about Heather. I'm more interested in that. Heather, why don't you tell us more about what you do and everything about
Mm,
you?
As far as the laundromat, I
Yeah.
seem to be doing lots of things right now. It's quite stressful. But
Share it all. It's all good. We can get to on
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, I left corporate world about 4.5 years ago. Just got tired of punching a clock. I worked in banking for several different banks over 20 years, and COVID hit. And I don't know, something hit my brain and said, "You're done." I had looked into laundromats 6 years ago, and I can't remember what triggered this idea. YouTube wasn't quite as popular in my world at that time, but I must have picked it up something from there. And I was just looking for more freedom for my time because I love the outdoors more than the indoors. So I want to be running, cycling, ultralight running, just crazy stuff, camping. I really like that. So I was looking for freedom. And I went and did a business course on entrepreneurs that's supported here in San Francisco. A woman started this kind of .org to help other women look at to being entrepreneurs. So I grabbed this laundromat idea and did this 4-week course. It was just one day a week. And I ran it through the course, which made me start to investigate. And everything I found was just great. The money, the ease of the business, the time you need to spend in it, the freedom you can get from it. And then as I finished that course, I also discovered notary and I jumped on mobile notary because the entry cost to mobile notary is about $1,000. The entry cost to a laundromat can be quite a bit more, depends on what structure you're looking for as far as laundromat. So I ended up going into this notary business and it was COVID. Interest rates were super low on mortgage. Notary tends to focus a lot on mortgage. So I became slammed. And after about 4 or 5 months of doing notary and working for a bank, I just quit the bank. My notary income part time was equal to my bank full time, my bank job. So I went crazy notary for 4 years, working almost 7 days a week, did very well. But the smart thing I did was I started to shove money away from all that extra money I was making as a notary. And then just last December, this laundromat idea awakened in me yet again. And I thought, you know what? I'm doing it. I've been talking about this for 6 years. So I went back to that course, but I took the more intensive business writing course, 10 weeks long, twice a week, 5 hours a week, homework, the whole thing. It was like a college course. But I deep dove into the how to finance a laundromat, everything laundry. Started to get on YouTube, discover influencers, and it just took me deep into it where it became a reality. Like I could really do this. I found ways to pay for it that was much easier than I had expected. And thank God I put this extra money away into my IRA. And by the end of the business plan, I had myself a laundromat. And I have a 16-page business plan
Wow.
and a lot of knowledge, intense knowledge of the laundry industry. And I just hit the ground and went out and found myself a laundromat and got started. And let's see, I bought and closed escrow on August 19th this year. And
August 19th. So this is still new to you.
yeah, it feels old, but
So exciting. So,
yeah, no, it's just been, it's incredible. I went, it was really weird. Yesterday, I went to a sandwich shop with a friend who had saw me at the beginning of the laundromat. He helped put up my window clings that said under new ownership while I was doing construction. I blacked out all the windows with these great window clings and my logo and all of that. So he had seen it when it was dirty. So he wanted to come see the renovations and everything. So we popped down after looking at it to the sandwich shop, and I've gotten to know the owner because she's a block away from me. She's also an entrepreneur. She said somebody had come into her shop just the other day And they got talking, and he is buying a laundromat and he's going to mimic my laundromat because he was talking about wishy-washy and what he liked about it and how he was going to copy me. So she said, "What a great compliment to me. Well, I'm already getting copied." And I opened my doors on September 23rd. So I guess I'm doing it right.
Congratulations. I am so happy and excited for you. And partially, I'm jealous of you, but in a good way.
I'll
Yeah. So do you live in San Francisco?
I do. Yeah.
Okay. Because I had it in my head that you were in Oakland for some reason. I'm in San Jose.
But I've got it.
Okay.
And
Yeah. I'm from the Oakland Hills. And so
okay.
Moraga. I grew up in that area. So in your area, I moved to San Francisco like 14 years ago. And that became my experience with laundromats. So I think the idea came to me because I was using laundromats. And when you walk into a business and you look around, I could do such a better job at this and it wouldn't even be hard. And I think that's where I started with the idea to look into it because I was using a laundromat when I moved here because we didn't have in-unit laundry, which is very typical for San Francisco. Our buildings tend to be Art Deco's 1930, 1908, and they're not piped. And it's very expensive to pipe a building for laundry. So usually a landlord that's renting, he's stuck with rent control. Half his tenants are paying half of market value. He's not going to sink hundreds of thousands of dollars into it just so people could do their laundry inside. He's going to collect your quarters in the basement and use his laundry. So that means laundromats are important to San Francisco. And I was using one that I just looked around going, boy, this would be so easy to just make this such a better experience. And now I get to do that. And I'm just having so much fun. It's just a blast.
When you bought this, did you buy an existing laundromat or did you
Yeah.
put a new laundry? So you bought an existing laundromat and it was filthy and dirty and gross and
Yeah, it was horrible. Okay, so I did the two big mistakes, right? In my first business, this is my first brick and mortar. The two mistakes: never buy on potential, and don't buy it just because the name's cute. Well, I did both of those. So yeah, I was John.
I think you described my approach to my marriage.
Okay, that's a whole different subject.
no, we're not talking about that right now.
Before I
We go deep down that road. But yeah, no, I had this business plan and as well, now I need to come up with a business name. And I'm asking friends and somebody says, "Oh, wishy-washy laundromat. That'd be cute." Oh my God, I love it. I Google it. There's a wishy-washy down the street. And I thought,
What, in San Francisco?
Yeah. So I drove on down there and I walked in there and I'm like, who stole my name? And I go, okay, this is about the size I could afford. With all my research, I was starting to learn how big of a laundromat in the city can I afford? And I looked around, I go, this place is a dump, but the name's great. This guy doesn't care about this place. I bet I could get him to sell. Everybody's got their number. So he's got his email just on a piece of paper in the back of the laundromat. So I emailed the guy and I said, I know you're not selling. However, everybody's got their number. What's yours? So he responded and he gave me a number. He goes, yeah, actually, I'd consider selling. He gives me a number. Now it was really high. And I was like, if that's the valuation, I'll pay you the true valuation. Give me some information, some bank statements. Let me do a valuation and let's talk. So he did. He gave me his numbers, his utility bills, and I worked the numbers backwards from the water because his bank statements, yeah, it's
Cash business.
he doesn't have any books. He's just collecting quarters and depositing. And I could tell that it was very inaccurate, I come from banking and I'm like, yeah, there's no P&Ls here. There's no balance sheet, no cash flows. That's like, just give me your water bills. Let me just work my own numbers. So I worked the numbers backwards and figured out what he was making, came up with a true valuation, which was about $60,000 less than he was asking or more, $70,000 left. So I said, let's meet in person. And I really liked him. He was a straight up guy. He just has other interests. He thought it was going to be an easy cash cow, sink some money in. And it wasn't. He was losing his butt. He wasn't making anything. He went behind the eight ball because it was getting dilapidated. If you let it start going downhill, it's like a funky car. You let one thing go and it just piles up on you till it's on the side of the road, hooked up to a tow. We worked out a nice cash flow. And so he came back with another number. I offered him 70,000 less. He came back 20 grand higher. And I looked at the potential of the place, the demographics, everything I had learned to do in my business plan course. And I had a consultant from an influencer on YouTube. In discussing with him, you don't buy on potential. However, he said, this one, I would pay that. I would buy on potential after looking at everything
Really?
that's going on, reviews, yada, yada. So I went ahead and did it. I bought it about $20,000 higher than I wanted to offer a high valuation. However, it absolutely worked out for me. Just renovating. 2 tips I took from another influencer, Cody Sanchez. I love her. I just love her, right? Add technology, social media marketing. And after looking at the demographics of who lives in my neighborhood, they're 25 to 39, single, making 200,000. That's all technology. That's not quarters. They don't know what a quarter is. So that's exactly what I did. I renovated it, made it clean and beautiful, representing what my apartment looks like is what the laundromat looks like. So it was a real reflection of myself. And then I added technology, tap and pay system. And now I've started with the social media stuff, YouTube, Facebook, Nextdoor, all of that. And boy, was she right. Boy, did my numbers turn around. Now I have a very appropriate valuation. It is valued what I'm into it for. Way better line. I could probably that I would do it.
Are you 100% card?
You
Good
can use
coin.
cash to load your card, or you can use an app, and it's called the Laundry Cat app. It's associated with Laundry Works, and you could just use the app and like Clipper or Fast Track. You load using credit card or Google Pay or Apple Pay to load that app. Then you just use your phone and you tap your phone to my machines, and the machine lights up. Or you go to the kiosk, put cash in, or Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit card, BBT, American Express, whatever, and you load value onto that card. You get this cute little laundry card that got my logo and my phone number on it, and you use that card to tap at the machine. So I have these options, but you can use cash, no quarters. Keep your
No
quarters.
quarters.
Yeah, no change.
Do you think that hurts your business at all?
No, not from the numbers that I see. I introduced tap and pay on November 12th. And the increase in volume was a
It's good to
couple
know.
thousand extra. Yeah, it was a big change. And every time I'm there, everybody thanks me for getting out of the quarter business. I had 2 older women that said they saved their quarters all week long to do laundry. So I lost 2 people possibly. But when I see
Yeah,
them next, I'm going to give them a laundry card. I'm going to load them a few bucks on that card and teach them how to use it. And they're
there you
going to
go. Now, how often do you go to the laundromat? How often are you there?
Right now, I'm there every day because I'm
Okay.
still tweaking things, little things. I'm doing all the cleaning right now. I do have a cleaner. He covers me when I need a break. I'm going to have him be my operator. But right now, I feel like I'm the kind of person that needs to know how to wrench on the machine so I can hire the right person. I need to understand the business from the bones up. I like cleaning, so it's not a painful task for me, but I like to step back and take a look at my floors, the beautiful walls and the machines. And I need to teach my guy what products work the best, the most efficient way and quickest way to clean. So I need to know it from the ground up. And I'm working in the back now. I'm looking at expanding to wash and fold. So now I'm organizing the back, getting that to be an appropriate space for a crew to be. Yeah. And getting through
That's
health inspections, fire inspections.
Oh,
that's super
Yeah.
exciting to get all that stuff done. It's a huge cost, but it's something that you want to make sure is done. Did you
Yeah.
buy all new machines or are these all older? I'm looking at your website.
Oh, okay.
Are they the same machines that are there? Or are they older?
I bought all new 20 pounders. So the smaller machines that does 2 loads. The laundry is weighed out in that way when it comes to the machine world. 1 load's considered 10 pounds. So your 20 pounders are what you have in your house, maybe a little bit bigger front load. So there's 12 of those. San Francisco supports their laundromats and they support small business. So there is a great high efficiency commercial washer rebate program. So by putting in all new machines, San Francisco participated in the cost of that. So that made it worth overpaying for the laundromat up front. I I kept the large machines because they're very expensive, the 30-pound and the 40-pound. I have 5 in the back there, 2 40 pounds, 3 30 pounds, because it's a small laundromat, it's boutique-y. I kept those. Those are about 15 years old, but they're workhorses. You can keep those for 30 years if you
Right.
maintain them.
Can I share the screen and show your website?
Is the website working? The Facebook might be better. It has better photos that are.
Well, I'll dig around first, but I just want to just a quick picture of the actual website, if that's okay. So that's obviously it's cleaner now, right?
Oh, yeah, that we must put the floor in, all the new machines, the paint's done. It used to be yellow. It was that change machine in the back is history. It's swimming with the fishes right now. I
What'd you
got a
get rid
nice.
of it? Do you still have it?
Oh, no, I sold that thing.
Oh,
Can't
good for you.
believe you wanted to buy it from me.
Yeah, there's your boyfriend, right?
Yep,
Rocking out.
that's my contractor slash boyfriend. Works for free on the weekend. Love it.
And these machines, those are dryers, right? And
Yeah,
they
the
last
dryers,
forever.
I kept those because 'cause they're gas, and I have a space in the back that I could easily access them, and there's nothing wrong with them, just maintaining them. I gotta change a bearing out, that's me,
That's
pretending
you.
I'm working.
So the with his arms, you're yoke. Oh, you can tell you're
There's the
outside.
card right there, right?
Yeah, that's the laundry card now, the tap and pay system, and the photo below that shows the machines with the tap and pay system, and that kiosk below that is where the coin machine used to be, and now that is what's there, this modern, and you just tap that card to the machine and it lights up. No more standing there for 10 minutes putting 34 quarters in a machine.
I couldn't imagine breaking out a roll of quarters and just cheat. It's almost like Las Vegas, right?
But boy, it just seems so. It just does seem so antiquated now. Can we just
Yeah.
like use a quarter or something?
And there's an offset cost on that, right? Because everybody knows that. Let me get rid of this. Everybody knows that when you use a card, you have fundamental costs that you have to, like the credit card costs, and then I'm sure the card costing you a little bit, plus the conversion fee. What does that turn out to be on roughly speaking? Just
For card? Yeah, the
no,
cards.
like per use.
Oh gosh, now I have not crunched those numbers because the dust hasn't settled on me yet. I'm trying to figure out my cost of services, like per load, one load of laundry. Now I know what the water, I'm guessing on electric. Now, because before being quarters, it was really hard to figure out how many turns am I getting in each machine because I wasn't going to sit there and count quarters at 33 machines every day to figure out how many turns I had because I knew I was going into this automated system and it would just tell me. So now I'm starting to get the data. I've had it for 2 weeks. I'm finally getting data that's easy to pick apart. So I'm starting to figure out what my cost per load is at this point. But I'm absorbing some of the costs, like each card, laundry card cost me like $1.50. And I don't charge people that. When you go to get a card and load money on it, I absorb the cost. There's no cost per card. Now, if you want to replace the card, then I charge you for that. But I'm not trying to nickel and dime people. I want laundry to be easy because it's just laundry. Let's not make a nightmare out of this day. Let's make this day a little bit more pleasant. So I try and absorb some of those costs. And I'm looking at big picture. To me, this is and I didn't realize this at first. I thought, oh, retirement, low maintenance. I don't have to be there punching a clock and I can make income. But then I realized as I started getting involved in meeting the people of the neighborhood, this was a community service program. And I'm
It
going to make
absolutely
money.
is.
Yeah, it is absolutely community service. I had a gentleman the other day while my health inspector was in there. He just started telling me his story of being a refugee from Vietnam in the 70s and coming to the States and bouncing around from Indiana and in Washington and eventually ending up in California and San Francisco, living where he's lived for the past 20, 30 years now and telling me coming to Wishy Washy and how much he appreciated that it was nice and clean. But he went into this long story of being a refugee. And it was really interesting, his story of some of the struggles and being thrown out of different states and different facilities where they just had no support. And it was really interesting. And there's older women that come in there late at night because they're doing laundry for a family. There's three of them in the house and their kids and their grandkids, and they're dragging all this laundry a whole block away. And they need later hours at a lady coming in right at 10 p.m. when my door's locked. So now I give her an access with her phone. She can tap her phone to my front door and it'll unlock 24/7. And she just needs that extra service because she's trying to work all day. And then she's got 3 people she's doing laundry for, and she's dragging it a block down the street. And I just realized this is really a community service, and everybody thanks me for cleaning the place up because the machine were mildewy and melt, and there was no hot water. The last person is, yeah, he never turned the boiler on. The permit guy told me there had not been a permit for the boiler since 1993, that they were lying to people about hot water.
I was like,
So,
going to say, but I was like, wait a second.
yeah, you
Right?
need hot water. They never did a health inspection since the 95. They never had a fire inspection because the health inspector says you got to have hot water because if somebody's washing due to bed bugs, you got to do it in hot water. So there's health reasons you need hot water. So I had a guy come in, the boiler going $2,500 later. I'm permitted, I'm legal, it works, I have hot water. So I put a sign, a neon sign that says hot water because I know people figured it out and started to leave the business. Well, now people know there is hot water. I don't charge extra for hot water. I'm not going to nickel and dime people down. So I realize this is a community service, which really suits me because I really enjoy that about my business. So I enjoy being there every day and talking to people. And one girl said my neon sign was too bright. She lived across the street and it was piercing a hole through her brain. So I got on Amazon and I ordered myself a dimmer switch, and $10 later, I put a dimmer and I dimmed it down. Now I got this really cute sign I get to use. And she walked in the other day and she saw me there and she just thanked me for dimming the open sign. And so we both got what we wanted. And I appreciate it. People come and make suggestions. I don't consider it complaining. They just make suggestions. I alter it. Yeah. And that's a local artist. I asked on Nextdoor, I said, hey, anybody know a local artist that would want to come do some fun window paints? Do something weird and quirky. Don't be offensive, but be weird. So he came and did that the other day, and I
Oh,
love
man.
it.
This
And
is
I
awesome.
him on that window. Yeah, that's
One
John and
stretch
Rich.
turn. Yeah, they did a great job. I love that. I think it's
Isn't that cute?
fantastic. Well, I love how the washing machine blows up there.
Yeah, knocks
Or-
the flyover. And that's
Heather,
our
a
Transamerica
question
Tower
for
in
you.
San Francisco. Yeah, so and our couple of San Francisco specials there. So I was like, start thinking about Easter because we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this all the time. Yeah, it is fantastic. That's just a local artist. He goes, I've been coming by Wishy Washy for 40 years. And so and he loved that he got to be a part of Wishy Washy. Yeah, so it's cool.
And I think what's really cool, well, backing up a little bit, but one of the things that me, have been attempting to do is just provide people more education and information about how to start a business, what that looks like, the financing and all these things. People get bombarded, I would say, social media, TikTok, you name it, all the stuff with how you can do this, how to start that. What's really cool about your story, I would say even inspiring, is that you probably saw all that same stuff too. So you know what? Let me give it a shot. And here you are. And just listening to you talk about it, it just sounds like you kind of fell in love with this.
I did.
What you did. It seemed like this has been a really win-win, not only just for the community, but like doing something that you could really put your heart into.
Yeah, I do enjoy the community part of it. I like being a part of the Lower Haight. This is in the Lower Haight, and I've discovered such a great neighborhood of San Francisco. It's a mixture of people that have been there for 30, 40 years, and then our tech crowd that came in the past 15 years because Google, Yahoo. So it's a big mixture, and it's just really fun to meet everyone. But financing, I would say, is the biggest problem. When I sat through my business course, and I'm really glad I did that. I would not change that. I highly recommend just Google in your city, look for a business course to write a business plan and get some help and learn the details of how a business works and then also how to do research. And I learned all about cost of goods or cost of services and how to do margins and what percentage of your dryer should be of your total revenue, what percentage of your rent or your lease should be of your total revenue, what valuation should you be looking at, what's ridiculous, what's not. So you don't get gouged. Because if you don't get in right from the get-go, you're going to get killed. And how much cash on hand do you need? Like these were all these questions, like how much cash do I need? And then getting an SBA loan for a laundromat's super difficult. So what I discovered in that research, in that course, was I found the ROBS program. The IRS offers a ROBS program. What's it stand for? Is Rollover Small Business Program, but it's ROBS, ROBS. Now, this has been going on, I think, since the 70s or the 80s. You can utilize a 401k or an IRA, not a Roth IRA, but an IRA or a 401k. And this is what I did. You can roll that over, create a C Corp, and create a 401k program inside your own C Corp, a single member C Corp. You can roll your funds over, and then you can use that capital to buy a business, run a business, anything about a business. And you are free to pretty much go in any direction you want to go. Now, those funds must only be used for the purpose of that business. So that's what I did. I had a nice IRA, and I'd put a bunch of money into it when I was working 2 jobs between the notary and banking. Thank God I did that. They gave me even more. So I rolled about half of that IRA over. So then I became a cash buyer into this industry. So I don't have the stress of this payment over my head. I just have utilities and rent. And since I knew how to get into an appropriate lease and utilities at a laundromat, you don't have utilities if people don't use it. Your utilities are a sliding scale with your business, your usage, right? So I figured those are going to be controlled. That I won't get upside down. It's got to make sure that lease is solid. And I had a consultant in the laundry industry, and I'm glad I hired him because he made sure that I got the right lease for the right amount of volume I was coming in. And here I had cash. So as I was doing my bill and there were expenses, I could just write a check and not stress because I had this money in the bank. And I thought that was really key. If you don't have just cash on hand that you can just spend out of your savings, this Rob's rollover program was fantastic. So you pay a company that puts your C Corp together, make sure you're totally compliant with the IRS. Through that, I found a CPA that specializes in the ROBS program. There's really only one guy out there out of Colorado that focuses on the ROBS program and C Corporation. So he is my CPA advisor. He also has bookkeeping and payroll. So
That's fun.
yeah, for a total of about $250 a month. I don't touch any of that. They do my QuickBooks. They load everything. I have a P&L, a cash flow. I have everything that I need at all times at my fingertips and done correctly and compliant with the IRS. So I don't worry about it. That's part of my cost of doing business. I don't want to worry about it because that's not my skill set. So that's how I ended up buying it. And that's why I'm so relaxed. I don't have an SBA 11% payment I've got to make every month. So that's key, I would say, when you buy a small business for the first time, is make sure you do it cash and don't take out a big loan that every month you're going to stress. If I don't hit this amount of revenue, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Speaking of trouble, let me ask you, because you said this first came up for you 6 years ago, right?
The first
First
idea.
one. So maybe can you tell me a little more about the emotions involved, or suppose maybe the fears, or what kind of came up for you when you decided, you know what, I'm actually going to do it this time? What was it that first finally made you want to do it? And describe that roller coaster a little bit for us.
I think it's in like, how am I going to pay for this? How can I qualify to get a loan when I've never owned a business before? I'm living quite lean before on my bank job. So I didn't have a huge savings. Oh, okay, I'm going to go throw a couple 100,000 at this. So I think that's what stalled me out the first time. I went out and started interviewing people in laundromats, all hours of the day and night in laundromats all through San Francisco, and getting to know from the customer side of you what they need and have to have. And that really got me excited about, I could provide that. I could do that. They just kept saying, I need a clean place that's safe and well lit. I could light things. I can make things clean. But then it was, how do I afford this? And to just get a personal loan, interest rates. I think that's what stalled me out. I didn't know how to go about that. So then I just disappeared for a couple of years. And then when I came back to it, I discovered that Rob's program and I thought, oh my gosh, I could do this. I could roll this over. I have the cash to do this. And I started going on BizBuy. How much do these things cost? Holy cow, I've got enough in my IRA that I could buy a place cash. Now let's get serious. Now that I got the money, let's get serious. That's when I went back into that course and said, let's write a real business plan and let's dive deep. And that's really what the major hiccup was. How do I afford this? How am I going to get into this business? And I
So it's
think
not like
you're
the
right.
biggest fear you had. So the
Mhm.
biggest fear you had at the time was like, there's no way to do this. Once you got that figured out, like, what was there a fear still left that you were still dealing with?
Yeah, that I was going to jack it up and lose my retirement. If you screw this up, you don't get your retirement back. The money is spent. I spent the money on that floor, on those walls. Now I have an asset I could sell, honestly, right? But if I were to completely fail and screw this up, nobody gives me back my retirement that I've spent. It's just gone. So that is the risk that you take with the RAVS rollover program. So that's why I say go through a course, hire the appropriate people. If you're not good at doing business plans, crunching numbers, hire somebody. So through an influencer, Jordan Berry was my influencer on laundryresources.com. I joined his pro site, started to get a hold of his Excel spreadsheets on how to do evaluation, how to work the numbers backwards from a water bill to figure out the revenue. And then I hired him as a consultant. And it was $3,500 and I was choking on that. But then I thought, boy, it's really expensive to make a big mistake. So I hired him anyhow. And I'm really glad I did because I had somebody in my corner that when I started freaking out, going, oh my God, I'm getting cold feet. I'm freaking out. I'm in escrow. What if I really screwed up? What if nobody shows up? What if nobody wants to use this laundromat? What if? And he goes, yeah, you're at about the right spot to be throwing up on yourself. Yep, that kind of thing. That wasn't right. And you know what? That was
Yeah.
worth all the 4,500 right there. That is, yeah, no, you're showing all the signs of progress. So he's had my back and told me, yep, those are the struggles that you have. Yeah, that's how the emotions go. So nothing new here. And that was really worth it.
And now, after looking at everything, are you glad you did it? Are you still wishing I could
No,
have done something better? Or
no way. I am so in the right industry. I am so in flow state right now. Everything I'm doing is working, but I follow like I read a lot. I I dive in. Everybody that knows me, when I research things to death, they know when I want to get into something, I test product. I was a professional athlete for years. I raced motorcycles for Kawasaki. And instead of letting the mechanics just work on my bike when I'd blow a motor or something, I would pay them to teach me how to work on the bike. So I want to know what I'm involved in. So I really did a lot of research. I was all over YouTube listening to hundreds of hours of videos of people interviewing other laundromat owners. I'm taking notes and oh, that's a great marketing idea when I have that problem. And that's a great idea to handle if I have that problem. So I did a lot of research and nothing really, it's scary because you're in business. I'm alone. I run my own with this thing. I don't have Big Daddy backing me up. I don't have a trust fund. If I fail, I'm on the streets. But that also makes you get super scrappy. And I know I'm good at being scrappy and I can handle it. And I'm just really enjoying the creative side of it, the build of it, and then listening to my customers and taking their suggestions. And then they come in and pat me on the back, which of course I love that, right? Who doesn't like that? So every day I go in there, people go, oh, are you the owner? Oh my God, thank you so much for cleaning this place up. This used to be a dump. And then they'll tell me stories. And I'll buy two or three more. Because if I have three of this size, I can quit the notary business, which I do love the notary business, but it's not sustaining to be driving 23,000 miles a year
right.
after year. I'm 53 now. And when I'm 63, am I driving 23,000 miles behind the wheel? I don't think so. I think I'm popping in and out of my laundromat saying hi to people. And the guy that I'm going to make my operator, him and his dad used to own the laundromat. It's been a weird thing. He contacted me to ask if I needed help with cleaning. He didn't tell me he used to own the laundromat. I discovered it through research of the history of the title. And I was like, gosh, how interesting. The same name. He has an unusual Middle Eastern name. I asked him the other day, I go, did you and your dad used to own Wishy Washy a couple of owners ago? And he's like, yeah, we did it. Dad tanked the place. I think there was some embarrassment, but he's loving seeing the potential. And now him and his mom want to run the wash and fold. So they're coming back and
Nice.
running it. And I'm going to enjoy letting him do that and be my operator and then paying him because he's working for Uber right now and I could double his income, I think. You
So
might.
how are you going to work that out? How are you going to pay that? You don't have to be specific, but are you going to make him an
I
employee?
never do.
Yeah. Let's
You know, I'm still trying to figure out the revenue because I'm still spending money, but it's tapered down tremendously. I'm using grants right now for graffiti grants to replace windows. There's a grant for ADA upgrades. I'm getting all my reimbursements. I'm seeing my revenue is still growing quickly because I'm doing all these value adds, adding technology, adding the social media marketing, like Cody had mentioned. And each month it's going up by thousands. So I haven't seen where it settles. So I want him to feel incentivized when we do better, he does better, I do better. I'm being very conscious of why did I leave corporate? And he drives Uber because he doesn't like corporate. He doesn't want to punch a clock. I don't want to punch a clock. If I put in hard work, I don't want to see the company make more money. I want to make more money. And so he's in the same line as me. And I thought, I want him to partner with me, not necessarily give me money, be a business partner and have a percentage of business, but how about profit sharing, like maybe co-op style? So I'm trying to focus more in the co-op, but I don't know anything about that either. So I'm trying to learn about that through asking my consultant and other people and my CPA, like what's a smart way to incentivize him and his family that when I do better, they do better, but I don't put myself out of business because I overpay them. And I don't
right.
want anybody punching a clock because that is the whole reason we got out of that. I don't want to punch a clock. I don't want to run business hours. So I'm trying to figure out a really nice, comfortable way that we can all benefit together from wishy-washy. And then if I own three, he runs all three of them and he makes enough money that he's happy and he's running his own hours as if he owns the business. So I'm thinking like that co-op structure might be a benefit that he makes money if we do better. He grows with it. And he's
Right.
very excited about that idea.
Just to me, it's like the entry point would have to be a certain level for him to want to jump in and do something like that.
Yeah. And I just don't know what that is yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of it has the history and tied to it, so we want it to
Yeah.
look great and succeed. We're good to follow him the day for sure.
Yeah.
Are you,
I think his dad wouldn't let him be as involved as he wanted to be. And then he watched his dad just tank it. And then there was a divorce. So I think he's excited to come back and be a valuable resource to me, which
Yeah.
he is. So we'll see. I think I need till about January or February because by then I'm done spending money. Then it's all working the business because right now I'm still spending, but I'm very close to just working the business that I have and seeing where the revenue starts to cap out and then work on marketing and increasing revenue through that. Then I should be able to figure out what percentage can I pay him of the profits. I'm just so clueless about where it is right now because the numbers are moving around. I got rebates and grants coming in that screws up my income, makes it look like I'm making a lot more than I am, and I'm spending a lot more than I normally will. Yeah.
you're still in the dust settling out startup phase, right? You're
Oh,
still in
yeah.
the honeymoon phase, but you're also settling out the dust. So you're trying to figure out where all that is. And
Yeah.
I guess get a piece of paper and write down what the hard costs are and what the hard revenue is, and then take out the grants because obviously that's a limited
One
time
time.
thing. Yeah, I wouldn't know all the. I have all these other questions like, what does your lease look like, and what's your marketing look like? So maybe we can chunk those off and when you're done. But going back to your getting on somebody that helps you out, is he going to help manage all the repairs too? Because you say they're workhorses, but they have to break down, right?
Oh, they do. I spend Thanksgiving on top of the 30 pounder. Yeah. I love to grab my tools and I went to Thanksgiving dinner and then at 10 o'clock I rolled into that laundromat and got the ladder out and I had a water valve that went out on me and there's two water valves and I only had one spare staying,
No.
right? And I'm looking at this water valve going, okay, I have one new one. There's two. Which one's out? So I had to start thinking, which is fun for me, which one contributes the most to the problem, and I'll replace that one. And I guessed correctly, but it only worked for 2 loads and then it died again. But then brainstorm, I have a good mechanic that actually owns a laundromat the closest to me. He's been helping and teaching me. So I had another machine that was down because the motherboard, the brain went out. You got to send those out. So it's sent that out. So I stole a water valve from that one and put it in the other one. And then I have only one machine down and a working one. But he's been a great resource to me because I talked to him and I said, he tried to hide the fact that he owned a laundromat. His family owned a laundromat for years, just 3/10 of a mile away from me. And I told him, I go, we are so much stronger together than apart. I come from competition and competing, racing motorcycles, everybody out against you. And you know what? It's just a horrible vibe. And I said, I'm done with competition. We're so much stronger together than we are apart. So him and I am teamed up and we are looking actually to buy a laundromat together and do a flip. And that's something that's going on. But I've helped him in some avenue. He's looking at my renovations and he's helping me and teaching me how to wrench, and he shows up and wrenches for me. So that I would like my operator, my cleaner, who's my cleaner right now too, just call my mechanic when there's a problem. Call me or call the mechanic, trigger that appointment, get that handled. So I would like that operator to make the connection with the mechanic and just call him in when something's wrong and call me or I'll call him. Like we're a team. The three of us, we all work together as a team in this project. And so far it's been working really great. But I'll advance him a little bit more as I start to let go of the reins a little bit. I'm still holding those reins really tight right now.
And you're just getting going. So of course you've got the race type.
But I don't sit around very long, man. Talk to me in a year and I'll have 3 laundromats and I'll be in my RV oceanside talking to you guys. Be like, oh yeah, my operator takes care of everything.
Yeah. How are you going to go on vacation? That's like a big question in my head. You got to be strapped to that for a bit, right?
For a little bit, but I've got that cleaner and it's quality
Yeah.
people. I can't
Quality
teach
people.
ethics and morals, but I can teach you how to clean a floor. And I am so lucky that this guy is just such a good quality human. And I can tell right away in his interaction with me that he is just so solid. He doesn't ask me to pay him. He says, oh, you don't need to pay me now. I just enjoy watching this place grow and be successful. He's just a quality person. So I gave him a raise, right? I paid him more. When he said that to me, I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to pay you more now because that's awesome. And same thing with the mechanic. He undercharges, so I pay him more because like, I know what other mechanics charge. He shows up within an hour or two when I've got a problem. He teaches me how to replace it myself, which works himself out of a job. And as you are such a quality person, and I let these guys know that they're really important to the success of my business. I would nowhere be as successful without these two humans in my life. And that's kind of part of the community that I'm a part of. And I want to encourage that. So he just bought the mechanic after years. His family owns a laundromat since the 80s. He just bought his first laundromat on his own. So I was like, anything I can do to help you, let me know and let me jump in there and help you out. Let's work together. So he's in the laundromat checking out my tap and pay system, and behind the scenes, he's looking at the portal and I'm letting him see all my numbers. He's got all access to all my numbers, got the code to the door. I let him in because I know ethically, morally, this guy's straight. I'm attracted. That's why I said I was in flow state. I am attracting really quality people to me that I can trust. So I could take a vacation. These two guys got this. And they would be more than happy to help me. And I would be more than happy to help them. If they want to take a vacation, give me the keys. I got this.
Yeah. And this is the part of the business plan or the education and writing a business plan won't teach you, right? This is that life experience and something about you also, right? Knowing how to read people, knowing how to attract certain people and being in that flow state that has got you this position, which is super cool. I think anybody who watches this, that sees, you can tell, yeah, this lady, she's in flow. He's in the right place at the right time, the right people.
Plus,
Yeah,
I love that energy you have. You're just like so exuberant. Every day I walk my dogs and I go to the park and there's all these people that show up with their dogs. And there's this young girl that I've known since she was 3. She used to have her old bow in her head and walk right around her tricycle. And now she's 22 and she's journeying out to be a forest ranger, a ranger. Well, she's going to classes to do this. She's so excited about it. She's, I can't wait to do this and plant and volunteer here. And I see that same energy coming from you. So it's great to hear that, feel that. Yeah.
I feel like I picked the right industry. I just naturally went that way. I'm very mechanical, so I don't mind getting on top of a machine and fixing it. And then when it works, I'm like, I did it.
You should make sure to get the GoPro out next time you do that, and so you can see people. Yeah, that'd be
Really
good.
done that. Of course, I told several people. I'm like, oh, 11:30 at night. I was there till just after midnight. Of course, I sent a video of it working to my mechanic, who did not respond at 11:30.
So I wouldn't either. I'd be asleep at that time. So Heather, tell me about your lease. Whatever you feel comfortable about, obviously, but like, how long is it? What does that look like?
I'm very lucky. I go to friends and I ask advice. I have a girlfriend that she works for a grocery chain. And what she does is look for new locations to build the chain. So she negotiates very large leases professionally. So I called her and I said, can I take you to dinner? I got to pick your brain before I talk to this company, because there's a large investment firm that owns the building my laundromat's in. And I need to be able to talk with the boys about negotiating a lease, and I need to understand the language. So I took her to dinner and she brought this Excel spreadsheet that showed me something I never thought of before. There is a valuation to a lease. So I am part of the value of the building. And I never thought about it in those terms. To me, it's cost. I'm thinking, oh, cost. Can I afford this? Can I afford it? I don't know. I am valuable to this guy. So what she teaches me is, when you have a lease locked in for a certain period of years, that's a chunk of money. Like my lease is 2961, something like that. So let's say 3,000 just to be easy. So $3,000 a month. So if you're on a 3-year lease, that's $36,000 valuation added to the value of a building. So if an owner is going to go sell or refinance, the bank wants to see what's the value of the building. So they take all your leases, put it together, and that is the value, what people are willing to pay to be a part of your building, right? I never thought about that. So the tenant previous to me had a 5-year with a 5-year option, and they just wanted to roll me back over into that. She also read through the lease and realized sewer lateral was on my shoulders, but there's 12 units above me using that sewer lateral. So you need to negotiate out some of these costs they're putting on you, and it's rolling year after year over. Nobody paying attention. I was like, okay, that was some good tips, because I needed him to pay for a new sewer lateral. In due diligence, I had a plumber come out and say, yeah, you've got some cracks. It needs 5 feet, needs replaced. It's about $8,500. I thought, okay, I got to negotiate with this guy to pay this $8,500 and get it out of my lease. So how am I going to do that? I got to show my value. Tenant improvement. I'm going to improve this place. I go on their website and I researched that capital company, Mosser Capital, and I figured out what their thing is. They buy vintage buildings, renovate, and then rent them out as these expensive renovated vintage apartments. On their particular website for my building, they advertise on-site laundry, which is me. The place looks like you're going to get bit by rats. So it's not great. There's no photos of it either. There's photos of the apartments, but none of this laundromat. Good thing. When I thought, I'm going to give you plus, you could use photos finally on your website showing the on-site laundry, and you'll run a promo for tenants. So you can even advertise that. So now I'm building value. I'm a valuable tenant to have. So negotiate with me. A longer term lease gives you a higher valuation. So I wanted 8 years locked in lease and an 8-year option. Because if I decide I want to turn and burn, laundry's not for me, that's part of my valuation to a new owner. Oh, I'm locked in for 8 years on this lease with an 8-year option. You got 16 years to run this laundromat before you have any lease trouble. That creates a higher valuation for my business if I want to sell it or get a loan or whatever. And it's a higher valuation for the owner. $3,000 a month at 8 years. That's a much higher valuation for the owner. So I just learned all of that. And I learned tenant improvement, rent abatement, which is free rent, fancy word for getting free rent. So I went in there and I said, I'm going to do all these renovations. I'm going to run some special promo discounts for your tenants, and it's going to be a beautiful place, and it's going to be modern, like what you've done to your building, because I understood they like to take vintage and make it modern. So that's what I was also pitching to them. I'm going to keep it vintage with your cute little hand painted wishy-washy sign. It's 40 years old. It's very vintage and cute, but I'm going to make it modern. So I was playing off of their own keywords that they advertise on their own website. That was the research I did. And so then I'd pitch to them 8-year, and you guys pay the sewer lateral. I want 2 months of rent abatement, and you guys pull that sewer lateral out of my lease. So we started going around and going around. I didn't get everything I asked for, but at least they talked with me and they didn't knock me down. So they paid the sewer lateral. They gave me 1 free month of rent, one month of rent abatement for tenant improvement, but they gave me a 5 and a 5. They stuck me 5 years with a 5-year option. They go, oh, let's just. Unfortunately, I was not talking to the decision maker. I did not get myself all the way through to the decision maker. So once the dust settles and things get good, I'm going to go back and take another swing and see if I can redo my lease and stretch them out to an 8 and an 8. Just because I want to, not because I need it, only because I want to see if I can. I just want to, I want to close the deal. But everybody's got friends. You got to start asking your friend. You probably got a lawyer in your circle. Or if you've got somebody that understands leases, owns a building, start talking to your people that are in your circle and find your experts and take them to dinner. For $100 dinner, I learned so much that I had value. And I was going into this lease negotiation scared, thinking, oh, this is a scary cost. I go, no, I got value and I'm bringing a lot more value. These people want me. They better appease me. And I also got them to do the ABE checklist, which is accessibility for ADA. I found a grant and I told them, hey guys, this isn't a cost to you. There's a grant. You've got your own grant up to $10,000. However, it is your responsibility to have access to this business accessible to everyone. So I'm going to help you out. I'm going to call the inspector. We'll get the inspection done. I'll do that for you. I'm going to send you the link for you to apply for your, I did it all for them. So I got them out there.
You made it easy. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool, but it's because I sat with my girlfriend one night at dinner and I paid $100 for dinner with her. And she taught me all about leasing and the value that I add as the renter. And then it just made me feel confident. It made me feel better. Oh yeah, I am adding value. I am valuable to this company. And then I asked him, by the time I was done with my connection at Monster Capital, he said, I've always been interested in buying a laundromat. I might hit you up and maybe we can partner and do one together. That's how that conversation ended up. And I got my lease.
You could see that I'm interested in it myself because it's so interesting to see that concept, because that and car washes and storage boxes, that kind of stuff has always been interesting to me. We've talked about it before on this channel because it's something that it's income that comes in and it's scalable and it's consistent income. I'm in real estate. I've been in real estate for almost 21 years now. And my business is like this.
Oh,
Up and down. And I have good years and bad years and good months and bad months. And sometimes they're really good. And then I just stack it away. But something like this would be amazing. Hey, going back to the lease, how big is your laundromat store unit? What do you call it?
Yeah, the laundry action. I don't know my frontage. I would say the interior floor is about 400 square feet. So it's not huge. I have 33 machines between dryers and washers in there, or 31. I think I have 31 washers and dryers. I have 17 washers and 14 dryers. What is that? 31, right?
There you go. Yeah.
Back to the business plan. So I have 31. So it's not huge. Now, I have a back room. I have 2 back rooms to this space, which is double. So I would say my square footage is probably around 700 square feet of usable space. Now that back half is going to be wash and fold, right? Yeah. So it's a small laundromat. This is not huge. It's San Francisco. So square footage is hard to come by. You don't do a 3,000 square foot laundromat in San Francisco. They'd tear you down and put a high rise there. Real estate is very lean.
Right.
So yeah, so it's, I would say about 700 square feet total, back space and front space.
Cool. And then you said triple net. That pays for taxes and insurance and what
No,
else?
I'm on a triple net lease.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah, I'm a standard lease. I forget what would you call a standard lease? I just pay monthly. I pay my own utilities, but I don't participate in the maintenance of the building or the whole thing. That's why that sewer lateral responsibility being under the laundromat when the laundromat and 12 units use it didn't make sense because we're not in a triple net, nor would I ever go into one of those. No, it'd be like HOAs. All of a sudden, no, we got to replace a roof. Forget about it.
Yeah. So I do a lot of video. I do live videos every four times a week. And every time I get a chance I talk smack about HOAs because they're horrible. They don't give a crap about you. There's no added value to it other than for the city to let them manage it. But there's no
Mhm.
value for the homeowner or the rentee, their tenant. So anyway,
Yeah, you
back to
can't have control over that cost.
no. And it goes up it'll never go down. It's like taxes, right? Okay. I think we know more about the lease, and I know we're coming up on, we're right at an hour. So know you want to go, but quickly before we let you go, what do you do? I know the dust is still settling. What do you do, or what are your plans for doing outreach? I know you're doing stuff for customers that are coming in and for the current tenants. You have a big, huge neighborhood that you can attack. What are you doing to get your name out there?
Right now, since I'm still spending and building and doing all this physical hard labor stuff, I am just starting social media marketing. So, of course, I found a course online to start learning about social media. I'm not a huge social media person. I don't have a Twitter page. I have a Facebook page. I don't have Instagram. Personally, I just don't do a lot of that. However, you need to do that in this industry. So, I did start Instagram, Facebook, Nextdoor, Yelp. I went online on Amazon. I bought QR codes associated with all those different platforms. I have those QR codes in in the laundromat. I'm starting to push for reviews, posting photos. That video that you saw that you were showing of my window decorations, that's on Instagram and Facebook. I'm starting to learn how to get it out there and get interest and get interaction, get likes, get people to like the page. So I'm just starting a social media marketing. I'll do some geo strategy stuff where I can contact people that are in the area and let them know what's going on at Wishy Washy. The tap and pay system that I purchased has all these great promotions. And now I'm starting to get people's cell phone number and their email through that tap and pay system when they register their laundry card or on the app. Now I can start communicating with them. So I bought this big glass whiteboard thing that I'm going to mount on the wall. It's 36 inches. And I've got these neon highlighter markers. And I'm going to start putting on there this week's promo running at this time. Next week's promo, these dates, that dates, look for this. Start drawing attention to there's going to be different promos going on. But as I capture the data from people, personal data from using the system, I'll start promoting to them. But for non-customers that aren't coming in yet, it's going to be social media marketing. I might do some flyers or door hanger things where I can put promo codes on there and people can come in and get a $5 laundry card to do their laundry, a one-time code to encourage new users to come in, stuff like that. So I'm just starting to brainstorm some marketing ideas.
Yeah.
That's a little more what I come from is marketing, but I've never owned a brick and mortar spot before. So
Yeah.
I'm usually marketing myself as a motorcycle racer or something. So this is really different and fun. It's so more YouTube, more influence.
I know this is a good option for you. You could put this all on your website. So next time we talk, and I do want to get back on with you in 3 or 4 or 5 months,
Yeah.
just to follow up and see how things are going and lessons learned, because this is
Yeah.
super interesting to me. We didn't even get to talk about your banking business or what you did back in bank. Were you like a business banker?
I was an outside sales rep and I traveled around to car dealerships purchasing their car loans from the weekend. That's how that worked. You go buy a car and you go to Toyota and you think, oh, I'll get financed by Toyota. No, all us little bank reps come in, we start making bids on your contract. And then all of a sudden you're getting payments from US Bank. And you're like, oh, okay.
Like the
So that,
mortgage industry. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so I did that for 22 years for 5 different banks. So that's where I got my loan experience, sales experience, outside sales. So I've always been interacting with people, strangers constantly. So interacting with strangers in the laundromat, right up my alley. I'm a mobile notary in real estate, so I'm always in people's homes that I've never met before. I'm very comfortable in that scene. So the laundromat suits me very well to interact with constant strangers.
Well,
It's
you're
gonna
call,
be exciting to catch up with you in a few months just to see how much more you
Well,
can.
it'll be very different in a few months. Trust me. I will.
Yeah.
I don't stand still very long. I'm always like, what's next? How can I drive myself crazy now?
That's definitely.
Or I'm going to settle down and chill. And then I like, oh, what's the next project? And then this. And then I drive myself nuts.
it's good. At least you have drive, right? There's people that are just like afraid to make a risk of something like this. And God, I tell you, it's just exciting to see how exuberant you are and just see the future of this thing happening. And I'd love to come visit you. Maybe next time Patrick's in town, we go up and grab lunch together and see how things are coming along.
Absolutely. Pop out to the wishy-washy, man. Lower
Heck
hates
yeah.
it.
I'll bring a load.
I'll start your machine for you for free.
There you go.
You? No.
That's just really exciting about. I was just gonna say again. I already said earlier, but like Bill hit it again here. Like a lot of people are afraid to take this step. And on this call, you have 3 people who are entrepreneurs and have taken steps like that. And it's just exciting to share the story about your success so far, and it's still being unfolding. Take those steps too, because it's not just something on Instagram that people do that is not accessible to you. No, this is possible. You can do this, and
Totally possible.
there's some work that has to be done to get it done.
It's never not scary. I've lost some
Right.
sleep over it, that's for sure. But I have so much skin in the game. I know that I'm not going to let myself sink, and I know I'll do whatever it takes to make it work. But yeah, it was when I pulled the trigger, I bounced around on that Rob's program for about a month. I was like, oh, I'm going to do it. And then I'd wake up and I'd be tired or hungry. No, I'm not doing it. I'm scared. And then I'd eat something and I'd be like, oh, I'm going to do it. It's how my emotions went
Yeah.
like this. Finally, one day I was like, you have told so many people you're going to do it. You have to do it now. You got to save face. You look like a ding dong. You got to do, and that keys.
It's pure ego and guilt, right? It's like, I can't let people make fun of me now.
Yeah, you know,
That's how like you harness the fear. It switches. You went from being fearful of what people are going to think, right?
Yeah,
And claim that you're different.
I was like, you're such a
probably
poser. Yeah, I mean, you're just a poser. And then when I did it, people were like, oh, yeah, you talked about that for years. Oh, like, I know. Well, I finally did it. And I was so scared. The first, going through escrow was a nightmare. I didn't hire anybody. I had no broker. I just did it myself. I come from real estate. I deal with escrow officers. I was like, let's not pay a broker. Let's just do this. And I just muddled through it. Oh, I negotiated a great note on it too. I can't believe I negotiated that with the owner. I just told him, I was like, do you really want to take this whole sales price into your income this year? We're 6 months away from the end of the year. Why don't you call your CPA and see, is it smarter to maybe take half now and half later? So I was doing seller back financing without asking for seller financing because financing says payment interest. So I was like, how's this going to hurt you tax wise this year with your income? Because he also owns another business. And so we called the CPA and he came back. He goes, yeah, how about we do half now and half in January? I was like, okay, perfect. We'll do half right now at closing of escrow. And then in 6 months, January 6th, I bought myself a few days. I'll pay you the other half. Okay. I don't think he totally realized what I gave myself was a free loan, interest-free, payment-free, just deferred payment. So I paid half of it at close, and I haven't even paid the other half. No interest and no payments.
Yeah.
Due January 6th, 6 months in. So that was sweet.
And then close thing, growth. If you're talking about doing something like this, rewind it and listen to that again.
I'm
We have the second half sitting in the market making interest. So it's just, I'm making interest, not paying interest. I'm making interest on that note that I did. How is life?
So now I have one more question, and I don't know if you want to tell me this or not, because talks about money. How much did you pay for the laundromat?
110,000.
Wow.
Now he asked 160. When I did a true valuation of the current revenue It came out a high valuation at a 5X, which is you want to buy a laundromat between 3.5 and 5X, depending on if you're in city or if you're in the suburbs. Inner city, you're closer to 5X. So 5X was 91,000. So I offered him, I said, I'll pay you high valuation. And high valuation, I walked into our meeting with a cash flow chart with his numbers. And I laid it out and I said, 160,000, come on, get. So I was at 91,000 high. So I left him with the cash flow and he calls me back later. And as I talked to my wife, said, okay, we'll do 110. And I took that back to my consultant and he goes, I normally don't buy on potential, but you have huge potential there. I said, oh, I'll do 110. So I do 55 now, 55 January 6th. I'm making interest every month on that 55, which is great because it's just sitting there. So work that deal out. My rent's $3,000. The rent is appropriate. It's 27% of my revenue. My revenue keeps going up by $2-3 every month because of the renovations, because of hot water, because tap and pay. Everybody's getting the word out. They're coming back. So now my valuation's like 3%. So I killed it. But it was because I educated myself. I wasn't stupid. I didn't go in at the blind eye. I spent the hours on YouTube listening, taking notes. I spent that time from January to May in that course doing that business plan. And I took it serious and I wrote the business plan, even though I didn't use it. I have it. I did the research. I spent the time. I did the thought. Then I pulled the trigger and I was still scared, but I came at it with, God, I really did all my due diligence. I really did the work. I still could have failed, but the odds were I was succeed. But I also, third mistake, don't fall in love with your first business. Fell in love with Wishy-Washy. How could you not? Such a cute name.
Such a cute.
There's no way I wasn't going to do a deal with this guy.
Right. That's you.
It-
You hooked each other. You were like both fishing and both of you hooked each other. That was great.
Yep.
Um, Okay. So you said revenue's going up 2,000 and 3,000 every month, but it's
Yeah.
September, October, November, and then December's still out. Do you mind sharing what the revenues were?
I'm sorry.
What was the revenue over the last 3 months?
He was only making, like, he was pulling in 55, because I have a year's worth of his bank statements and they're not very accurate because of how he was accounting. So he was pulling in about 55 to 6,500 a month. And then the expenses are roughly $5,000, but they move. The more washes I do, the higher my water bill goes. But he was on the wrong plan with PG&E. PG&E helps you get on the most efficient plan. And he didn't run that they have a program you can run online. You're allowed to change your program twice a year. So I went and I ran the program. Just walk into the water department's office and ask them. They want to help you. They don't want you to be wasteful. Just go in and ask people. So I just walked in and asked, like, how can I lower this cost? So I did that. But anyways, so he was 55, 65 is about where he was at. Expenses were in the $5,000 range. And then he had the cost of the mechanic here and there. So he was probably only netting about $800, $900 a month. So my first month after renovations, I closed for 10 days. I opened up September 23rd. I opened back to the public. So October was a full month. I came in at 7,500. And then November was another full month. I came in at 9,500. Yeah, and I put the tap and pay system went live November 12th. So mid-month, I went 95. Now I'm December, I don't know, we're only 6 days in.
Right. Exactly. No, that's
And
great.
there's holiday. San Francisco is an expat community. A lot of people go home to Michigan, to Ohio, wherever they're from. They go home for a week or two. So I'm not quite sure. Do I have an expat community where my laundry days are going to be really light during the holidays because they've all gone home? Or are these people local? Do they stay local? I don't know yet. It's going to take a while to figure that out. Yeah. But obviously everything I'm doing is turning to gold for me. And now I've got this guy who's starting his own laundromat and he's going to mimic what I did. And my mechanic bought the same tap and pay system. I'm the only one in San Francisco with that tap and pay. I found that system the most expensive, but I was like, this is long run. I want to make my life easy and I want everybody else to have their life easy too. You're in and out of my laundromat so fast.
So yeah, now if he bought the system, I should be a rep for that place. He's going to be the second person with that tap and pay. And maybe this mysterious guy at the cafe is going to be the third person with the tap and pay. But yeah, it's working out very well. But I did the due diligence. I didn't just go in blind. Oh, it's a cash business. I'm going to just hide my money from the government. I'm not hiding anything. I got a bookkeeper. I've got a CPA. We're going to do it right. Don't cut corners. Treat people well. Do it right. Provide a quality service, and it'll come back to you. You come at it money first, it'll be money last. You come at it community first, you'll get paid. People will come back, they'll appreciate you, and they will come to your business regularly. They're not going to walk past you to go to another business to save 50 cents when you provide a quality business and they know that you're there to back them.
Clean and safe environment, right? They
Yeah.
feel good going there. They know that there's not going to be a ton of homeless people asking for change or what have you.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I've approached some outlets.
But
I've approached a
Yeah.
crackhead and we viewed a video of him trying to smoke crack in my business together.
Jesus.
I can't believe that didn't happen. I
No,
just
it's
was
good.
from the streets.
No, you got to be a prick to people sometimes. And
Yeah.
that's just a fact. And you do it once or twice and you get the message, and then the message gets
gotten out.
out to that community, which you don't want. But there's all sorts of different ways to being stern. And I love that video idea. It's, hey, is this you? Yeah,
Well-
that's not really cool, dear.
Yeah, he's trying to gaslight me. Oh, no, not me. And I'm like, let me explain for you. Let's watch this video together. I go, you are no longer welcome at my laundromat. I appreciate your business. No.
Fell.
Heather, thank you so much for sharing the journey so far. That was a lot as we shared. And really excited and happy to see what you've created so far. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Rio said it too.
Anytime.
show-
Anybody can
show-
contact me. Yeah, we're stronger together, I think, than we are trying to compete against each other.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And we love it. Yeah, we'd love to follow up to you again here, maybe 3 or 4 months. I don't know what, maybe March, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm all, let's see, I'm just checking to see how the journey's going so far. See what other craziness you got yourself into.
By then, she's going to be she'll be driving around her big Rolls Royce, big cigar. How do I leave work?
I get on my dream.
Yeah. So get started, right? You start off by the big dream.
Yeah. If you don't start, you'll never make it.
That's right. That's right.
That's a perfect way to end this.
You're here.
Heather, thank you so much. It was so awesome getting to know you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Happy holidays.
All right. I'm going to shut this off now, and then you guys can chat about it.
I think that's it.